Hi, my name is Jim Willett. I have actually been a New Life member since 2001, so I've been here for a long time. March 14th, God reset me. Let me give you a little bit of background on that. It was Good Friday 2019 where I had unfortunately had a stroke. I had undiagnosed afib, and because of that, my heart was very elevated, almost around 200, and I did not feel that. So fast forward into July of that year, I had major surgery. Everything seemed to be good up until about a month ago. And a month ago, I went back in AFib. And of course, my heart rate was elevated again. Doctors were very disappointed how that all happened. I went to the hospital. As I say, they took the paddles and zapped me to try and get me back into regular rhythm, is what they call it. And that worked for about a week. And then I was back in AFib again. Again, very disheartening. And then the doctors put me on different medicines, and that didn't work either. So I was still able to do things. I just had to be cautious while going through it all. And then, we started 21. And Pastor Justin on the 14th of March started talking a little bit about where do we go here? It's time for a reset. What are we going to do with our lives? And how's God speaking to you? And that really spoke to me because Justin used the term, professional Christian. And I was like, wow, I really feel that's what I've come to do. I'm very, I just say things because I got to say things. I don't have meaning behind it. And I talked to my wife about it on the way home from church, and it really, really hit me hard. And I was like, I'm rededicating here. I am going to do that reset. When I pray, I'm going to make sure it's meaningful and that it really is going to be a relational prayer with God, not just something because I got to pray for my son or my daughter or whatever. Later on that night, I came to church and I ran into some friends. Deb Kamari came up to me. She's like, hey, did God do the thing yet on you? And I'm like, how did you know? And she said, well, we're praying for you. And I was like, no, unfortunately. She's like, wow. She's like, I thought he was going to do that this morning because we got a lot of people praying for you. And I was like, oh, I thank you so much. I'm really hoping, things happen soon. I believe he will. And then we just started doing the night of worship. And during the service, he gave me a vision. And he's like, hey, Jim, you're healed. And I'm like, started bawling. And I'm like, but I don't want to be disappointed. So I didn't want to jump to conclusions or anything like that. So I just saw a picture of him just looking so, just patient and just saying, that's okay. When you're ready, you can go ahead and do this. And I have some heart rate monitors on my watch and stuff. So finally I was like, all right, God, this is what you're saying. And so I went ahead and I ended up checking my watch during service, and it said I was back in normal rhythm. And I started getting teary-eyed and showed my wife and praise him and pretty much she was like, yeah, you're healed. And I was like, thank you so much. And later on I felt excited to lean forward and tell Deb Kamari, hey, he zapped me, Deb, and so we're very excited around that. But God's been doing a mighty work. That's just one piece of the what he's done. He said, listen, Jim, he's like, I healed you of this, but it doesn't mean it can't happen again. You got to do your part. And part of that is, making sure that you give me the first of everything. And then when you give me your time, it's relational. It needs to be real. And I was like, you got it, God. This is what we're doing. I'm so thankful. And I'm happy to say, 2 weeks later, I'm going strong. I'm feeling great. And, even the devil sometimes wants to come and deter me. And I'm just able to say, I'm healed. Get away. At the name of Jesus, you must leave.